There are some Pokemon facts out there that are so ridiculous that they sound completely fake, even though they're 100% true. I covered some of these facts in a recent video, and it was a lot of fun, and you guys really seemed to enjoy it as well, so I am here to do it again. So to your average casual observer, it might actually sound a bit unbelievable if you were to tell them that Pokemon is the highest grossing media franchise of all time. Of course, this is a pretty well-known fact to most of us in the Pokemon community, but there is something about this that I think would sound pretty unreal to even the most seasoned Pokemon fan. Not only is Pokemon the highest grossing media franchise of all time, it has actually made so much money that its total revenue is actually more than the total revenue of Star Wars, Harry Potter, and SpongeBob combined, as the estimated total revenue of those three franchises is at about $95 billion, whereas Pokemon has currently made almost $99 billion. A big part of that success obviously came with the initial debut of Pokemon itself and the ensuing Pokemania that followed. Pokemon obviously began with Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow, and Green in Japan, but there was actually a Pokemon Orange version that was planned as well. This definitely sounds like one of those old school playground rumors that you would hear about fake Pokemon games back in the day, but it's true. According to Pokemon Story, a Japanese exclusive book from the early 2000s that recounts the development and early history of Pokemon, when it was decided that the first Pokemon games would be split into multiple different versions, the initial plan was to actually make 7 versions based on all the colors of the rainbow, meaning that along with Pokemon Red, Blue, Green, and Yellow that did actually release, and also along with the aforementioned Pokemon Orange, a Pokemon Indigo and Pokemon Violet version were also planned as well, and coincidentally, we did actually end up getting a Pokemon Violet about 26 years later, and it came with an Indigo-themed expansion. This means that out of all of these initially planned Pokemon games, Pokemon Orange is the only one that hasn't been realized in any sort of way to this day. So going forward over the next few years or so, it'll be really interesting to see if this one ever pops back up. And while we're on the subject of the original games, this next one is one that is admittedly well known, but saying it out loud just sounds completely ridiculous and absolutely untrue, so I just had to bring it up. Pokemon, just like any other RPG or adventure game, is known for its occasional roadblocks that temporarily stop the player from continuing forward until they accomplish some sort of task. And while Pokemon has occasionally been teased for its somewhat interesting methods of roadblocking the player from time to time, these sometimes wacky methods shouldn't really be a surprise at all, because it is actually the case that the first ever roadblock in a Pokemon game in Pokemon history is just a drunk guy that is passed out in the middle of the road. That would of course be this guy in Viridian City, who in the English version of the games just simply hasn't had his morning coffee, but in the original Japanese version, he is drunk and passed out. And honestly, I just love how a passed out drunk guy is literally the first obstacle that you have to figure out how to get past in a Pokemon game. Meanwhile, the Zubat line, despite being the absolute epitome of overly common Pokemon who are beyond annoying to encounter, are also ironically very unique, as they actually have a unique type combination, and are the only Pokemon currently in existence with the Poison Flying type combo. Personally, I don't know what's more shocking, the fact that Zubat has a unique type combination, or that Poison Flying, of all things, is a unique type combo, even after almost 30 years. Something else that is also true, even though it sounds totally fake, is basically everything about my new Narwhal plush. Like, it couldn't possibly be this spherical, but it totally is. It couldn't possibly be this soft and squishy, but it is. And there's no way it could be this high quality, but it is. Narwhal is one of my favorite Fakemon from my Pokemon Cardinal series, and when you pre-order him with the link in the description, you'll also get a special pack of cards with it that offers a special preview at my upcoming Histrobi Chronicles trading card game, which is basically going to take a bunch of my Fakemon from my videos and make a legit TCG out of them. Each pack also comes with a special holographic promo card of one of the Cardinal starters, Shrubberus, Embit, or Narwhal. And these packs are the only way that you will be able to get these special cards. It also supports the channel a ton when you grab one, and helps me to keep making videos, keep upping the quality of my content, and to continue to do awesome stuff such as this. So it really helps out and means a lot, so be sure to grab one with the link in the description. And again, thank you guys so much for all of your support. Going along with the idea of those fake playground rumors from earlier, I'm sure we all remember and are well aware of Pikablu. Pikablu is the name that was given by fans to Meryl prior to the release of Gold and Silver, when it was one of those new, mysterious promotional Pokemon that featured in the anime before its debut generation, and it caused quite a stir and a lot of hype at the time. Due to the limited amount of knowledge about Meryl at the time, the rumor began circulating that this Pokemon's name was Pikablu. And believe it or not, Meryl was actually officially referred to as Pikablu for a brief moment in time, even though the name was completely fan-made. In the Pokemon the First movie trading cards that were officially released by Topps to commemorate the first movie, Meryl is referred to as Pikablu multiple times on the cards about the Pikachu's Vacation short. So this rumor was so powerful that it even fooled an officially licensed product into believing that it was actually the real thing. And as a result, for the briefest moment, Meryl was actually officially known as Pikablu. Jumping ahead for a second, in Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, Ultra Necrozma gained a reputation as one of the hardest battles in all of Pokemon. But there is actually a way that you can defeat this beast without even using a single move. All you have to do is pull up to this battle with a team full of Pyukumuku, and that's literally it. Thanks to Pyukumuku's ability, Innards Out, it will damage Necrozma whenever it is knocked out, equal to the amount of HP that it had when it was knocked out. And since Necrozma is obviously going to one-shot a Pyukumuku, you will do an entire health bar's worth of damage to Necrozma as soon as it faints your Pokemon. And after going through just a few Pyukumuku on your team, you will be able to defeat Ultra Necrozma without doing literally anything at all. And not to hurt the reputation of Necrozma or anything, but you can also beat Ultra Necrozma with a level 1 Pokemon and take 0 damage while you do it. All you have to do is place a Poison-type Pokemon at the back of your party and Zorua at the front, who can be as weak as just level 1. Since it will appear in battle as the Poison type in the back of your party, Necrozma will try to hit Zorua with Psychic type attacks, which obviously have no effect on the Dark type Zorua. From there, all you have to do is use Toxic on Necrozma and let the Poison do its thing until Necrozma is knocked out. Next up, here's a fact that definitely sounds fake. Red talks in the Pokemon games. Red is iconically known for not saying a word in the games, but he actually does speak. And no, I'm not talking about Pokemon Masters, we're talking about the main series games. In the Spanish version of Heart Gold and Soul Silver, during the battle with Red on Mount Silver, if you can get him to have to heal his Pokemon, he will actually say that he's going to use a full restore. Additionally, Red also talks while talking to the copycat girl in Saffron City in the Kanto games, but this one can be easy to miss that it is in fact Red who's actually talking here. But nevertheless, he does actually speak in the main series. Something else that also sounds pretty fake is that it's actually possible to have one-hit KO moves hit 100% of the time, and without the use of traditional accuracy-enhancing moves such as Lock-On. In Generations 1 and 2, all you had to do to accomplish this was give your Pokemon an X accuracy, and this will guarantee that all one-hit KO moves hit, which is basically a cheat code that allows you to literally one-shot your opponent with no chance of missing. Additionally, you can also get 100% accuracy on one-hit KO moves to this day by taking advantage of their method of accuracy. From Gen 3 onward, one-hit KO moves have 30% accuracy, and that increases by 1% for every level that the user is above the opponent, meaning that if your Pokemon is 70 levels higher than your opponent, one-hit KO moves will hit 100% of the time. Granted, at that point, you don't exactly need a one-hit KO move anymore to one-shot your opponent, but it's still an interesting trait about these moves that are famously inaccurate. Meanwhile, something that recently threw me for quite the loop is that Nidoking and Nidoqueen are rabbits. They're actually based around a number of different things, but rabbits are one of their primary inspirations, and it's actually because of the moon rabbit in Asian and Japanese folklore that these Pokemon evolve with a moon stone, which did not occur to me until just recently, and I was absolutely shook when I found out. So those were just a few more fake-sounding Pokemon facts that are actually totally true, and if you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and let me know which of these facts sounds the craziest in the comments. Also be sure to subscribe, and as always, you can check me out on Patreon if you'd like to further support the channel and get some cool perks in return, or you can listen to my Pokemon remixes wherever you get your music to support the channel as well, and that, as always, is super duper appreciated. With that, thanks so much for watching, and until the next one, as always, I will smell you guys later.